Yo, 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 what's happening? What's happening? What's happening, y'all? It is us coming back at you again with another live hangout fed Beyond the Kayfabe, episode number 10. I am back, your host, Dan the Man Boxing, along with my co-host, Ilyas. What's going on, sir?
What's up? It's the artist formerly known as Daniel MS. What's going on, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah, we definitely
big week, huh? Big week.
Absolutely.
We missed our pre-Extreme Rules show, but we're back to give our thoughts. We're back to discuss what's going on the road to SummerSlam.
Oh man, let's talk.
Can you believe it? It's already the road to SummerSlam.
Man, we're at SummerSlam, so we're almost at the end of the year if you think about it.
we're in the middle. We're somewhere in the middle.
No, we're kind of past that middle.
Yeah. It's all the guns blazing until SummerSlam. So where do we start? Let's start with the biggest news of the week. It came out Sunday, right before Extreme Rules. This was not televised. This was not part of the storylines or broadcast, but this was the biggest news of the week. And we'll have you, Daniel, give your first and foremost impressions of all this going on with this big legend who made a big mistake in 2015, and now the WWE is finally acknowledging him again.
Well, we all know who that legend should be. It should be no surprise to anyone, but those who may not refer who we'll be referring to, and the news came out a few days ago, and that is Hulk Hogan, the immortal Hulk Hogan, the great Hulk Hogan, quote unquote, has been reinstated to the WWE's Hall of Fame. Thus, his contract has been reinstated as well under the Legends contract, and this has caused some mixed reactions within the wrestling YouTube wrestling community, or the wrestling community, and other chat rooms and forums, I should say. So, my take on it, if you ask me personally, look, I know the man said some things he shouldn't have said. He paid a big price for it. He lost some revenue. He's lost some advertisers or sponsors.
Let's not forget that he did get how many millions did he get? Over $130 million when all was said and done.
Well, he talking about Gawker. Yeah, he's talking about the Gawker.
After all this that he went through, his name being kind of slandered through the mud, and his wife taking half of everything he had, maybe even more. That number was probably kept hidden, but he kind of got all his wealth back just from his name is probably damaged forever, but he's definitely got the money back.
Well, yeah, he put Gawker out of business. I mean, obviously, he sued them for $600 million, and he won that case. And, the fact is that even all the money that he's been able to recoup from the damage he's lost from his name being ruined, the fact is it's going to be very difficult to recover from that. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is now no matter how many times you're going to apologize, he's going to stick with you to the day you die. I'm going to give you an example to make this.
Somebody's always going to. Forgiveness is. A lot of people have forgiveness in their hearts, but there's always going to be some people that it stays the same.
Well, yeah, that's true. But let's be real. Let me just give you an example. There was a infamous controversial senator, U.S. senator by the name of Robert Byrd. He passed away.
By the name of who?
Robert Byrd. He was a United States senator. He passed 4 or 5 years ago. He was a former Ku Klux Klan member, and the fact is that he left that life, realizing how cruel and cruel it was at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But no matter how many, he was a Klans leader. No matter how many times he's apologized for that past in his life, he acknowledges that it's going to stick with him for the rest of his life. It was going to ridicule him to the day he died. He even said, "It's like, this is a life that I can't. There's no way I can. I can be. What's the word I'm looking for? I can be forgiven for. I should say. People will never forgive the life that my previous life. I will never be. What's the word I'm looking for? You'll never be viewed as a different person in a way. People can't see it that way because that was the very perilous life that you lived, you know. So I'm not trying to make it say what Hulk Hogan did was much more harsh than what Robert Byrd did, but the fact is, what I'm trying to say is that what you said was very racial derogatory. It was caught on camera or on tape, whatever you want to call it. It was your words, it was your voice, so that sticks with you. It's going to stick with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and he uses the excuse of he's been using that excuse of over the years of I didn't know it was recorded. I didn't know it was recorded, but I guess it doesn't matter. You shouldn't say it in the first place, right? And of course, he acknowledges the fact that that shouldn't untie him from being responsible for this. He should still take responsibility for it, even though he was not aware that it was being recorded on. And this was part of the sex tape, correct?
Yeah, that was part of the sex tape. After the between breaks, he was telling his girl at the time, his girlfriend. I think it's his current girlfriend, by the way, he was married to.
Well, it was Baba the Lump Sponge's wife. Basically, he was still married, and he was committing adultery. And that's also nobody talks about that part, but it's also pretty bad. It's a sin.
Yeah. Well, that too. I mean, that's probably why it caused his wife to divorce him because of that situation. But
I'm sure it was building up. I'm sure it's more than that, but yeah.
Yeah, probably more than that. It was probably rumor has it she was having an affair with during their marriage too. With it,
she had a young boyfriend, and that Hogan Knows Best show you could kind of see the cracks even when that show was going on.
Yeah, and his son's out of control now. He's doing a lot of time in jail. I think he got out. Didn't he get out? No, not too long.
Yeah, I think things are cleared up, and the tragic accident, of course, the friend of his son died. Is he brain dead, or I don't know what's going on with that, but the family got sued. They won a trial and they sued Hogan, and they won a lot of millions from that.
Yeah, and Hogan had to confront one. I think the parent on Larry King Live about that situation.
And there was a documentary actually about him after all this happened in around 2010 time frame. Do you remember this, when Hogan first joined Impact Wrestling? And he said, and I don't know if this was a publicity thing for people to feel sorry for him or what, but he kind of said something like, "I'm not a millionaire anymore," from the accident, from the wife. Well, now he's gained all that back because he won that Gawker suit, even though his name got slandered in the mud, and it probably humiliated his. It put a damper on his legend for the rest of his life and for the rest of time for people remembering him. He definitely got monetarily. He's back where he was in his heyday, I believe, when he was rocking and rolling in the 80s.
Well, yeah, he had his $25 million in the bank at one time. That he was losing it. He was really losing all that money, and then that Gawker thing got him back up. Got him probably more money than he's ever had in his account. So he's got his over $100 million in there now, more than likely.
Well, he paid the lawyers. He definitely paid the lawyers. So.
Oh yeah, they got their percentage. That's true. Let's look up Hulk Hogan's net worth right now. I mean, it may not.
Let's ask Alexa.
So his net worth is roughly around $25 million. So
right now?
Yeah.
So did he give those hundreds of millions away to his lawyers and everything?
Well, that's what it says, but it's not too accurate. So he might got a little bit more than that. So if you put the his lawyer fees, his legal fees, and all that stuff, he probably has a good 75 million, maybe 60 in the bank, if that. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I would say that's about accurate. What would you say? Has The Rock come out publicly about his thoughts about all this ever? I mean, obviously The Rock, half African American, half Samoan, and one of the biggest box office draw right now. Even though his previous movie wasn't that big, grossing wise, but he's kind of kept quiet.
Well, yeah, Rock hasn't said much about it, obviously, because he's.
In fact, he's been kind of distanced from the business since for a few years. I mean, he hasn't appeared at WrestleMania lately, and hasn't even made his once-a-year annual appearance.
Well, yes, I was going to say he's pretty much done with that life completely. You know,
Well,
The
I think
Rock.
he'll come back eventually when his schedule opens up. He'll do something again with, not wrestling wise, not competition wise, but I do believe that he'll come back to WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not, but knowing him, he's Hulk Hogan. I mean, yeah, Rock is he's gone way above and beyond wrestling. He doesn't need that life anymore. I mean, he may still respect the business, but it made
Oh,
him.
he's very humble and he definitely shows gratitude.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to. He
He
doesn't.
doesn't need the money.
He doesn't need the money. He's got a lot of money in the bank. I mean, the man is like, dude,
He's
this
got
dude,
his own production company.
his own production company. The man's following is huge. He's got what, over 66 or 100 million Instagram followers, over 100 million Twitter followers. This man is just just he's just an iconic figure, man. It's like everywhere he goes, he's getting harassed. The fact is like, you know what? He doesn't really need that life. I mean, that's probably why he doesn't really bother to comment on such things as Hulk Hogan being reinstated. But speaking of people who did comment on that, the New Day put out a official release, official.
You want to come kind of summarize it for us? I know they're kind of indifferent about it. They don't hate
They
it or
are.
love it.
They don't hate it or love it, but obviously this was carefully crafted because obviously this is the WWE spokesman, approved statement. It was filtered out. Let's be real,
Of course.
because if New Day,
I mean, what three people are thinking the same exact thoughts? That doesn't happen.
yeah, but let me go ahead and summarize it. Just take some key points out of the statement. Obviously, they're addressing the WWE universe. This is regarding the reinstatement of Hulk Hogan to the WWE Hall of Fame. We don't want to spend too much energy debating the point because our kids, our external ventures, and this job and our energy has already spent in already. So, in other words, let's put it this way: some of those words, I'm looking at this, they're saying, you know what, we have so much we actually have discomfort over this situation, but we got to keep our mouth shut. Plain and simple. That's what they're saying. It's like we have to bear with it if we want to keep our jobs and keep entertaining you guys.
Well, and I don't. Do you think they would refuse to work with him if WWE asked them to?
They can show some bit of reservations. They could do that,
But from their statement, it doesn't sound like they want to.
Well, all right, okay. Yeah, it sounds like it, but then again, like I said, it depends how much clout they have with the of creative, I should say. Because guys like, for example, guys like Undertaker or Triple H or Shawn Michaels, if they have some reservations about people they don't want to work with, they'll get their way. Kind of like somewhat like how Edge used to be. You know what I mean? So,
well, do they? I mean, are they at that status yet?
I don't think so. Quite. In my opinion, not quite.
Yes, that's exactly how I feel. It is.
Yeah,
not quite.
Not quite. If they were like in a Roman Reigns stature or Randy Orton stature, John Cena stature, obviously.
Speaking of Cena, where's he been? We're jumping around all over the place, huh?
Well, he's part-time.
Other than Total Bellas.
Well, let's be real. He's part-time now, and he's doing movies now. He's trying to follow the Rock's route or Batista's route in a way.
Yeah, but I think it's time. I think it's about time already. SummerSlam on the horizon. I think he'll participate.
He probably will, but like I said, he's part-time now, and he's trying to focus on other, on other projects. So I mean, he's trying to go the acting route because he realizes that his time as a wrestler is going, is winding down. The man's about to be 42. He's probably 42 already.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he? Yeah.
1976.
Yeah. Well, hey, look at the Undertaker. Speaking of Undertaker, I think he'll be at SummerSlam, and hey, I don't know who he'll end up facing. I have no idea. It's not too clear, but that John Cena rematch looks about right.
Here we go with that again. Do we have to see another Undertaker John Cena rematch?
You've been against that, huh?
I've been totally against this, and I've been against the idea that this man, the Undertaker, continues to wrestle and put his body in distress like that. The man's not going to be walking when he reaches 70. I'm going to be real. He'll be in a wheelchair or he'll be on a cane. I'm going to be honest.
He is moving around pretty well, but he does have how many hip replacements has the guy had?
Well, shoot, so many that I've lost count. So the fact is,
So this was not his first one, huh?
not his first one. He's had so many hip surgeries. It's like you totally lost count. The fact is that this man continues to put his body in stress. He's gonna be walking on a cane, or he's gonna be in a wheelchair. I'm being real. I hate to be
Well, some people just want to live for the moments.
Yeah, live through revolvers. This is about your health, man. You did what you could do. You have nothing left to prove. You're an iconic figure in the business. What more do you need to prove, Taker? Why do you got to keep going? I'm sure his wife tells him about this, but obviously, he wants.
Speaking of, Kane is injured now, and there's some controversy about Kane as well. But let's just wrap up this Hogan discussion. Where do you see this going?
Let's be real. I think it's going to be, as far as backstage is concerned, I think it's going to be some bit of discomfort with the African American athletes, particularly the New Day, Titus O'Neil, or maybe Lashley, which we'll talk about later. As far as the crowd is concerned, the WWE universe, quote unquote, I don't think they're going to be bothered too much about it. They're not. I'm gonna be real. They're not, or maybe there's going to be some hecklers going to yell out racist. That's going to happen. And WWE is going to edit that out. That's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. That way. But for the most part, I think the crowd is going to just give them a huge.
The crowd will welcome it, and I think they're going to pick their spot. I think they're going to pick SummerSlam for the big return. Why do it on Nothing Raw?
Right.
But hey, interestingly enough, how it happened. The news came out Sunday morning, I believe. Was it Sunday morning?
Yeah.
And Hogan ended up traveling to Cleveland. Was it Cleveland?
I think it was it Orlando?
No, it was Cleveland, where Extreme Rules was held. And the word going around is that he was told to make a private apology to the superstars backstage.
Mm.
There's news out there both confirming and denying that cameras were there. So some reports are that there were cameras in there. Some reports are saying there weren't. It was just said to be a positive reaction. More news came out that at that particular Extreme Rules pay-per-view, Vince was not present. I don't know if you've seen this. And interestingly enough, I did listen to some other podcasts and to some live reports from the show from fans that were there. And Hogan merch was not being pushed. There was no Hogan merch. Obviously, there's some fans who are going to wear their Hogan shirts to the show, but there's no Hogan sales. So my question is this: from what we're seeing right now, what do you think is going to happen? Is he going to be an ambassador? Are they going to put him on camera? Are they going to put him in storylines? How often will he be in storylines? Are they totally forgiving? Obviously, they reinstated him into the Hall of Fame. Some people probably didn't even know he was kind of excluded from that and blackballed, but he's back in there. To what degree do you see him participating, and does he have another storyline? And how soon is this going to come for us?
Well, I see him. I just think, as far as Hogan, what he's going to do at this point, I think he's going to be more in a sporadic, just make some sporadic appearances like all the other legends do. Give him a huge pop against a monster heel or something like that. I don't know. But, to your point, though, you did mention that maybe they'll have a program with Bobby Lashley when Lashley becomes champion. I don't know.
I mentioned that, not live, but I did.
Okay. Oh, that's right. But the fact is that if that's true, I don't know how that's going to work. Will that salvage the damage that was done to his reputation? I don't know. Some people are going to say this is almost like Bill Watts all over again. We all remember what happened to Bill Watts. I'm not sure you know about that situation with Ron Simmons. Was Bill Watts a
racist guy?
Yeah, that was a rumor that's been going out years ago, whatnot. And there was some internal complaints about Bill Watts, the way he treated African American wrestlers and whatnot, or even Hispanic wrestlers or Mexican wrestlers. And when it came out, he wanted to salvage his reputation as a wrestling executive by putting the belt on Ron Simmons at WCW. And he ultimately denied that. He said, that's bullshit. That's not true. I put it on Simmons because I felt he was the guy to go with. He worked hard. He's always been a professional worker. He's always kept his guys safe. This, that, and the third. But some people argue the timing of it when that whole situation came out with Bill Watts being the racist, and then all of a sudden he gives Ron Simmons the WCW championship run. I mean, look, I'm not saying that was not the wrong thing to do. It was the right thing to do because obviously WCW, did it change the landscape of professional wrestling when it comes to ethnic workers? I'm sorry, minority workers, I should say. Maybe because we have The Rock, we have Booker T as black champions. Have
is The Rock considered a black champion? Because I know black people have held the World Championship, the WCW title before, but other than Rock, they haven't held the WWE Championship, correct?
The Rock has held. I mean, he is African American because his father is black. Number one, and because those genes are more dominant than Samoan genes. Two, he is considered. Well, they consider Ahmed Johnson as the first African American. Well, Intercontinental champion, that is. The Rock, as far as world champion, they always say Booker T was, but no. Or Ron Simmons. Yeah, you can say.
Well, those two never held the WWE belt.
No, they never did. I mean, Booker T never held the WWE belt. He was given the title shots against the likes of JBL at Survivor Series back in 2004, which I thought he should have gotten that title. But they wanted JBL because he was the monster heel. Yeah, I mean, it did work. He was getting over the crowd, so let's keep the belt on him a little bit longer to WrestleMania. But anyhow, yeah, you're right. Booker T never held the WWE title. He held the world title many times. He held it once, actually, in WWE.
The world title he's held a few times. He's held it as King Booker, and I believe he's held it only once. That's it. Well, I think he's held it multiple times as King Booker.
You sure? I thought he held it once as King Booker. He held it.
Maybe he held it once as King Booker, but I think he held it before that as well.
Yeah, before that.
He came into the company as the champion.
And he did. He
definitely held it multiple times. He was a 5-time champion. That's his catchphrase.
5-time WCW world champion. I know he probably say 5 times, 6 times, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's like 7 times.
Yeah, but the fact is that Booker T, The Rock, Ron Simmons, they're all African American world champions in those.
Now, speaking of that, obviously Lashley, if he wins, it's going to be the Universal Belt, which does not have a history. It does not have a lineage, and which is also unfortunate because the belt that actually does have a lineage, as you could see by the booking of Extreme Rules, is not getting much press.
Yeah, AJ Styles.
Unfortunately, that's not right. I think the WWE belt should be the main one, but the belt that Lesnar's holding, the Universal Championship, the red belt, it's not even seen on camera. So
yeah, that's bullshit. They need to take that belt off Lesnar soon, and I hope they.
But do you think? And this seems like Vince's something Vince would really love to do is pull the race card with this whole Hogan thing and insert him with Lashley or something like that.
Dude, let me just say this. I think this is what they could be doing. They're gonna program Hogan with Lashley as a real life storyline. It correlate with Lesnar. That's what they're gonna do. It's more like
it's not
redeem itself.
It's not set in stone that Lashley's gonna go up against Lesnar. At least not in a one-on-one capacity. I don't think
it has to be one-on-one though. I understand what you're saying, but it has to be one-on-one because if they put Roman Reigns in there in that triple threat match, I'm gonna be pissed. First of all, and the reason why I say that is that he's already.
Well, look, yeah.
What I'm saying is that the dude is already been. They tried many ways to get him over. Hold on for a second. I'm sorry, man. Look. Okay, hold on, man. Hold on for a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lashley. He won. He won at Extreme Rules, meaning, and now they're setting up Lesnar. They're setting up Reigns versus Lashley. Lashley got his win against Reigns. Reigns is most likely going to get his win back, right? That's what it's looking like, right? Now,
Yeah.
what I see is them, or it'll end up in some sort of controversy. What I see is them doing the triple threat match, and maybe we'll have Strowman cashing in, or maybe they'll keep it on Lesnar. And obviously the rumors, and this is for sure not a confirmation. We don't know what's going on with Lesnar's deal, but the rumors are that it expires at SummerSlam. Not to say that he can't sign another deal on the spot. There's a lot going on with Lesnar as well when it comes to UFC that we should address. But either they keep it on him or Strowman cashes it in. Strowman cashes in his Money in the Bank and gets the belt. But yeah, triple threat match. In my opinion, what do you see happening? How do you see this going down?
Well, the fact is I think it's going to be.
How do you see this going differently? Because you're saying you actually should really get the one-on-one match. And the other thing is, do you like how they're using him? Do you like what they're doing with him? Because I don't think it's going too well.
I think they're using him a little bit properly now.
They're using him better. They are using him better than it started as.
Yeah.
Why is he wearing that baseball cap? Can you tell me that?
I don't know why. I mean, he needs to take that off. That headband's looking ridiculous. But the fact is, though, they're using him better, a little bit better. They're giving him a better storyline. I didn't like that Sami Zayn story.
They're putting him to the top. They definitely strapped the rocket on him, but he's up there in age too.
He's up there in age too, still in incredible shape. But the fact is, though, I think a one-on-one with Brock Lesnar will do justice. They need to get Lesnar. Lesnar needs to have a clean loss to somebody one-on-one. It's got to happen.
Okay, then if that does happen, where do you put Reigns?
Reigns will get his title shot at Bobby.
Where do you put Reigns at SummerSlam?
That's a good question. I mean,
now if Ambrose comes back, they could reunite the Shield.
They can do that, or they can have him.
Because I believe Ambrose is ready.
Yeah, or they could program him with Elias. That'll work.
Elias, I mean, there's a lot of questions here, and it could go a lot of different. Obviously, it could be a lot of different combinations, but reality-wise speaking, what do you see them doing for SummerSlam here?
Reality-wise, is probably the most logical thing is they may put him in triple threat match, but I don't want triple threat match. Roman Reigns, they tried so hard to get this man over against Brock Lesnar. It hasn't worked. They tried that, but they felt that the storyline try to put realism into a storyline with Brock Lesnar. He don't care about the business. He don't give. Do
you see Strowman cashing in, or do you see Lesnar retaining, or do you see one of these two, Reigns or Lashley, actually winning this belt?
Well, that's a good question because you didn't mention Braun Strowman. I mean, it's a possibility that if Lesnar does win, I don't see that happening. If he does win, the next night he'll be attacked maybe by Lashley, and then Braun Strowman comes in and cashes in on him. That's a possibility.
Yes, it's a possibility, and it could be an ending to SummerSlam that would send fans home happy. Speaking of Strowman, what kind of babyface is this guy? I mean, he's been a bully to Kevin Owens. He's done so much. I just don't think they're booking him properly at this point. Like, through everything he put Kevin Owens through, somebody should probably a fan would be more empathetic and liking towards Owens than towards Strowman.
Oh man, I mean Kevin Owens in the Braun Strowman match. I mean, it was
that bump off the cage. I mean, it's not even a big pay-per-view. Why put your body on the line?
Yeah, that was a very hard bump. And I'm glad that Kevin Owens is okay though, but that was very, 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 very scary to see that, to watch that, But but we'll see though. We'll see. I'll see how that plays out, man. But the thing is, I don't think I don't know, man. I just think that to me, Lashley didn't need to get the win. And then if you want to go ahead and give Braun Strowman the cash it in, then maybe cash it in when Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley have a rematch.
What do you think of the response Lashley's getting? Because I didn't see much of a response for him at Extreme Rules.
Actually, the response was pretty good. He beat Braun Strowman.
Towards the match. Yeah,
sorry.
When the match was going on, he did get a good reaction. But when he came out, and it just I don't know. It doesn't seem like they like either guy, to be honest. The crowd. I mean, he was doing well as a heel in Impact Wrestling. I don't know what happened to that, personality-wise.
Well, yeah, personality. He's always lacked because he's never always been the best at the mic. We know that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He was actually good in Impact Wrestling. His work.
Yeah, but his mic skills got a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little bit better. I will say that, but it's still lacking. It's just the charisma is not there. Kind of like Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar really didn't have no charisma either. I mean, to some degree, his mic skills.
Lesnar's a whole different animal. I mean, the guy's really doing whatever he wants. He's owning Vince. It's kind of funny, but business-wise, he's owning Vince.
Of course he is. Vince is giving him what he wants.
I mean, look at what he's doing. UFC, WWE, show up 3 times a year and get paid $8 million. And I think Vince likes this. I think that he's going to keep Lesnar there. He's going to keep the strap on him because he does. I don't think Vince really cares that fans don't like the fact that obviously you heard the chant strip him when they were teasing the stripping of the title on Raw. And Vince is going to be keeping things the way they are. I think it's about time.
Let's put it this way. If he shows up on Impact or on Ring of Honor with that fucking title, Vince is going to look bad. This is Alundra Blaze all over again.
Well, I don't see that. I mean, those aren't big money places.
I know they ain't big money places, but they do have a big enough following where they can blow it up on social media. Because you have to understand, back then, social media didn't really exist. It wasn't that prevalent. So people couldn't really blow that up. Imagine if social media existed back then when WCW was around at that time. Totally different story.
I see that with the CM Punk thing. If CM Punk shows up in any of those companies, then it's a whole new ball game. Really, it could change the landscape. But a guy like Lesnar, I believe that WWE and UFC are on friendly terms, and they're working together and they're weaving this thing. And Vince is kind of allowing Lesnar to do something that he hasn't allowed anybody at any time in history to do.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you're right. It's
now on the women's side, do you think Vince would be this lenient with Rousey? Because you know that she's got the background, and you know she's going to give the itch to come back to mixed martial arts at some point.
Well, I'm not sure about Rousey. Maybe he'll give her that leeway too, because she's also a big draw herself. So that's a possibility. But I don't know, man. Like I said, if you're a big draw, he's gonna tolerate allow you to get things your way, because it's how Hulk Hogan was back in the heyday in the 80s. Hogan always got his way. He always got some bit of creative control back then, even though there was no such thing as a creative control clause in contracts, at that time. But he still had a little bit of input when it comes to creative control back then.
Yeah, I think that creative control is one thing, but Lesnar is just getting everything he wants. And is it worth it? Well, they got those billion-dollar deals with Fox. Maybe it is. Maybe it hasn't been worth it over the years. Maybe Vince really doesn't know what he's doing. Do you see Lesnar carrying that Universal Championship, really carrying it in that UFC fight?
If he does, I mean, it's a possibility. He could. He could definitely. He could. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's put it this way: I wouldn't be surprised if he does. All right. And the fact is that, I mean, obviously they try to program him with Daniel Cormier, which I honestly believe Cormier is going to get destroyed. Dude just doesn't have the size to compete with Lesnar. Let's be real.
I mean, is
He
Lesnar
doesn't
that
have.
good though? Is Lesnar that good? Because didn't he leave at one point because he wasn't doing too well?
Oh, he left. I mean, obviously because he went up against guys who are far more skillful than him, more his size. The game Velasquez was a better striker than Cormier. Let's be real. Daniel Cormier coming up in from light heavyweight to heavyweight, he doesn't look like he's in the best shape at the day.
No, no. And how did he win the world belt? I mean, how did he even do that?
Well, he won by strikes. And the question is that Myosic didn't even do a proper takedown. Brock Lesnar is very quick on the floor, so the fact is that I don't see again. I just don't see him. I don't see Cormier winning that fight. Let's be real. I mean, yeah.
So what you're saying is Lesnar's going to have both straps?
Yeah,
possibly, potentially.
Yeah. Potentially.
So, what do you think about McIntyre? It seems like he's really up there as well. Like they haven't quite pulled the trigger, but he's a big deal right now.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre. I mean, I know there were plans to give him a title push years ago, even before he got released.
He was branded as the chosen one, and by Vince himself in storyline purposes. But obviously his behavior outside the ring, kind of destroyed all those. He's a different guy at this point. Let's be real. He's a completely different guy.
Yeah, completely different guy. Yes, but
and this partnership, imagine with Ziggler. Ziggler's up there too right now. He's really reestablished his brand name, I believe. But Ziggler with the IC strap. And McIntyre with the Universal strap, that could be a big type of Kevin Nash, Shawn Michaels pairing.
Yeah, that's possible. Very possible indeed, man. But yeah, I mean, I've never been a big fan of Dolph Ziggler, even though he does have some in-ring skills. I'll give him that. Never really been a big fan of him, to be honest.
That's what was kind of confusing to me. All these guys coming out on Raw requesting a title shot basically, and Ziggler actually came out as the big winner. So why wouldn't he want to request the title shot?
Right. He should.
The guy that lost actually. Well, I guess technically
Seth Rollins.
Rollins never really lost, but Rollins is very over with the crowd. Very over that burn it down thing, man.
Yeah. True. But anyways, let's move along with this, man. Let's talk about.
Let's move along. What do you want to talk about next? You want to talk a little bit about Extreme Rules and the way the card was structured, and how Rusev was misused, how they put the IC title match as the final match. And all those fun things.
That was just bad. That was just lazy booking. How are you gonna book the IC title match as the last match of the? This is not Bret Hart and British.
They put them as a semi-man. That's the WWE Championship, the one Shawn Michaels won when the Boyhood Dream came true. The one Hulk Hogan was carrying. The one did Andre the Giant carry that one?
Yeah, I mean, look, let's put it this way. Some people are gonna say, well, okay. First of all, didn't Bret Hart and Davey Boy Smith headline a match with the IC title? Why is everybody complaining now? I'm like, look, can you really compare Seth Rollins to and Dolph Ziggler to British Bulldog and Bret the Hitman Hart?
And that was a classic match, but it's very different comparison. I can compare Bret Hart, but not British Bulldog. That was a different kind of wrestler. He was a power guy.
He was a power guy, but he was also a tactician too. People see the British Davey Boy was very underrated as a tactician, not just a power guy.
He was different. He was different.
He was very different.
And he was jacked up on roids too.
Yeah, too, but he was very athletic too for a big guy. He was very athletic. But the fact is like you can't compare that situation. First of all, the Ultimate Warrior and Randy Savage did not have. I mean, they had a decent match in the mid card with the WWF title, but the Bret Hart and British Bulldog match was the match of the night. Let's be real. That was
it had the story. It had the story going in. It was a very compelling story. I really can't compare that Rollins Ziggler match, but it wasn't a big card such as SummerSlam. It was one of their B shows like Extreme Rules.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't see why people are trying to compare that situation to just Bulldog and Bret Hart. That's come on, man, seriously. In fact, that match, the IC title match over Extreme Rules, wasn't even the best match of the night. It was a good match, yes, but it wasn't the best match. Of course, the best match was AJ Styles and Rusev. That was a damn good match.
I don't know about damn good match, but look at it this way: he's been getting an organic reaction. They're trying to push a guy like Roman down our throats. They're trying to do little tricks, like putting him against Lesnar to get a better reaction because people hate Lesnar more right now that he has the championship. That's an example, right? Who else are they trying to push down our throats to get a reaction that they want? I can't think of it right now, but I'm sure it's happened before. But Rusev, he's getting an organic he's been getting an organic face reaction. Rusev Days caught on. They chanted because they want to chant it. Nobody structured this. This wasn't written to be like this. So what do? They turn Rusev. They keep Rusev heel or turn him heel. I guess he was already technically heel. He never turned really face. And they didn't. Obviously, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to beat AJ. I wouldn't agree with him beating AJ. But build the guy up. Use what you have organically, and make the guy a viable threat. I mean, he's a bigger guy than AJ. He's come out in a tank. He's a tough guy, etc., etc., etc. They didn't do any of that.
No, of course not. But I mean, Rusev, I'm kind of confused on what they're doing with Rusev. Either give him a big push, or
they're not invested in him. They don't. It's happened. It happened with guys.
Yeah, but the fact is that I just don't think that it's like they push him, and then again they put him in the back of the bus in a way, as you want to call it.
I think they kind of did this with Punk, but CM Punk was incredibly vocal and incredibly he was incredibly articulate and charismatic with his verbiage, and so he actually got himself out of that position and demanded that they put him higher on the card.
Right. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Rusev, I'm cool with Rusev. I mean, the thing is that to me he was much better as a heel. Him being a face, I really don't buy it. I'm just being honest. I really don't buy it. It seems like they can't figure out what they need to do with him either. Keep him as a heel, keep him as a face. They just keep changing the storylines.
And now it's this whole thing on SmackDown last night. It's this whole thing with Lana and Aiden English, and they're starting the slow burn towards the breakup and the feud of that. So Rusev is dead in the water, basically.
Yeah, it is dead in the water. They need to get
by the way, on a side note, where did Lana's Russian accent go?
Yeah, good question. I like Kofi Kingston losing his Jamaican accent.
She still says Rusev like a Russian, but the rest of it, yeah.
Rusev flush.
What about this? What about this Bailey Sasha thing? What about this I love you thing? What are they doing here?
Oh man, that storyline is getting fucked up. I'm very disappointed with that storyline. Who the hell booked that? I mean, really, I'm just being real.
I mean, in this PC era, are they really doing a lesbian storyline? Let's be real.
Oh, get the fuck, dude. I mean, seriously, it's just like, what are they doing with this storyline? This storyline needs to have more juice, a more heated storyline. This is. Do it. I'm not saying go to the extreme like Shawn Michaels and Triple H storyline, but they're making this shit a comedy. This makes no freaking sense.
But by the way, Dr. Shelby, he disappeared. We saw him one time, and then he was just nowhere to be seen after that. Very strange. Dr. Shelby, the psychologist that worked with Daniel Bryan and Kane back in the day. I mean, this is. I mean, I'm just not going to.
I'm not gonna look. Like I said, I expected more from that storyline. Let's put it this way. I expected more, but I'm very disappointed. You don't put out. How you gonna put out a storyline that's very anticipated? I mean, how you gonna create a book of two wrestlers who are anticipated to have this rivalry? Everyone anticipates a bullshit storyline like that. I'm not buying it, man. It's like this is crazy.
Well, it started out hot. It started out interestingly. Bailey finally exploded on Sasha. We thought it was, wow, heel turn on Bailey. It was a swerve because everybody thought Sasha was going to go heel. It could have been big. I mean, she could have done a promo the next week explaining her hatred for Sasha, her hatred for the fans, and everything she's put up with, and her frustrations. Instead, they came back the next week and they did a stupid comedy angle with Dr. Shelby, the psychiatrist, and then they continued doing that. And now, fast forward a few weeks, and they're potentially gonna be gay lovers.
God. All right, enough with that, man. Seriously, man. Seriously, I don't know. I'm disappointed. That's all I gotta say. Terrible storyline. Terrible storyline. Very terrible, man. But let's. How do you grade the show from
Extreme Rules or Raw and SmackDown?
Extreme Rules.
Oh man, it was a strange show. It was a strange show.
So 10. So what was it? What did you rate it again, bro?
It was a strange show, but I like the work rate. I'll give it a B minus.
B minus? No, I probably give it a B minus myself too. I thought the reason why I gave it a B minus because the IC match. I didn't like that. I was like, you guys had me on a B, but you put that match as the last main event. So that right there is yeah, that did it for me.
That was, I mean, that match was even that. The finish of that was strange.
Yeah, that was very strange. I mean, like I said, it was a match show. It was a lot of good matches, but
I mean, McIntyre was banned from ringside, and he still cost. He basically still came out and cost Seth the match. So I mean, what was the point?
Yeah, kind of like that women's hardcore match with Alexa Bliss and Street Rules match between Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. Very interesting match. You know, yeah, Mickie James interfering with the chair shots on Nia, and then Ronda Rousey tried to interview. They, the next, they got her taken out a bit. So it was interesting. You know,
yeah.
But yeah. And speaking of her, she's supposed to get another title shot at SummerSlam against Alexa Bliss. I don't think they're going to put her there. It's too soon to get the title on Ronda right now. Just wait till WrestleMania. Let's be real. Somebody's
I mean, she got suspended, and then she got another week on her suspension, but they let her do whatever she wants, and they gave her a title shot. That makes lots of sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, very strange the way you write this, but it is what it is. But I mean, like I said, man, I just think that the Raw, SmackDown, people. I mean, the shows weren't quite as bad, but I mean, they were okay. I mean, it is what it is. After your pay-per-view, you expected to, hopefully, to get gravitate a bit, to further interest. But now they got.
What did you think of the whole Hardy Nakamura 5-second thing? 1 second thing, really. And I thought he was injured at first, but he wrestled a match at SmackDown. Hardy wrestled a match at SmackDown, and Orton's back as a heel. He stuck his finger in Jeff Hardy's ear piercing, which was kind of it was kind of cringeworthy to me. But he came out and didn't say a word about Orton. And did they want us to be surprised by Orton coming out? Because at the end, we knew Orton's back. So that's kind of where they're going, Orton or Hardy, and Nakamura has that U.S. belt.
Yeah, I mean, squash match. I mean, I didn't expect that. It is what it is, man. I mean, Nakamura does have a title, but I didn't expect him to win the U.S. title. I guess it is what it is. I mean, on that part, I think it's just one step for him to get there eventually.
There's still a lot of holes in SummerSlam. I can't really predict the card. A lot of guys. Like who do you see being paired up with AJ for SummerSlam?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, who did it on that SmackDown roster as a heel? I mean, Jinder Mahal, seeing around with AJ
Jinder
again.
Mahal is on Raw.
That's right, he's on Raw. My bad.
And he hasn't been doing much.
Yeah, exactly. They got him sidelined again. So
he's just doing some prayers backstage.
I mean, who do they have? I mean, they can't do another rematch with Rusev. That makes no sense. Yeah, that makes no sense at all. I mean, it ain't really much there they could do. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe they'll have to do a triple threat match or a qualifying match like they do a lot. Whether it gets a shot at AJ Styles like they do with Brock Lesnar. So we'll see.
AJ Styles. Who could it be? Who could it be?
I don't know. I just can't picture who else would be there. I mean, Nakamura was.
Could we have Cena? Can we get Cena back for this?
Why? We've seen it already, man.
Well, next week on SmackDown, Paige is going to announce a match, and I mean, for the #1 contendership. Actually, what I see is Samoa Joe. That's the guy. That's the guy they're going to put in there. I think that's the guy they're going to put in there.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe.
Why not? I think Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles, that'd be perfect.
He's a tough guy. And finally, Becky Lynch is going to get her shot. Finally, they want to put her in the SmackDown Women's title contendership.
Against Carmella? Well, I mean, why not? That's a good match, but I think Carmella's going to retain anyway. They're going to keep the belt on her.
Well, it's not for sure. Becky's going to be in the match, and we'll see if she advances to next week. She'll be in the match, and we'll see if she advances. She probably will to go for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
We shall see, man. We shall see, but. All I know is that, you have, let me see, if you look at, SmackDown, I mean, you have, like I said, I think you're right. It's going to be Samoa Joe. I think that's the only logical match you can make. If you put the title on, I think AJ needs to drop the belt eventually because we've seen
that would be a good match. I mean, we've seen a lot of Joe versus Styles matches in TNA, of course. Historically, they were really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's a very good point. So, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I really think that's probably the next step they have to go. Now, as far as Asuka, yeah, she's out of the title picture for a while. It's like they're going to have a program.
They don't know what they're doing with Asuka. Asuka was doing so well in NXT. A lot of people were doing well in NXT. The Revival was doing well in NXT. Where are they?
I mean, like Ben Balor was doing well in NXT. Look what they did to him.
Finn Balor's drifting. They don't know what. I don't know. I mean, he's lost. He's drifting.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be real. I mean, they don't know what to do. Some of these, we've heard reports. I've heard rumors that people who get called up to the main roster wish they could go back to NXT. They wish.
Because I just thought of a wild card.
Airtime on matches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's going to happen to Ricochet, because Ricochet's like blowing up in NXT.
What have you thought of
I was
Leon
wondering,
Rush? Of Leo
if
Rush?
Dream too, he's a guy who's blowing up too. But
what have you thought of Leo Rush? He's on 205 Live now.
Leo Rush, I mean,
he debuted pretty strong, but he wasn't doing much in that Akira Tozawa match last night.
Well, he blocked. He's kind of black in the comments, so I don't know. I mean, I just can't see what else. What can they do with him? I mean, what can they do with him? He's a small guy. You don't really have much of a storyline to put him in. I mean,
he's a tiny.
You can't look at him as a Rey Mysterio, man. Tiny dude. He's shorter than Rey Mysterio.
Speaking of Rey Mysterio, that's another wild card for SummerSlam. I mean, obviously he's going to come back eventually, and he's going to appear somewhere, and maybe that's somebody they want to put in there.
Rey Mysterio against AJ Styles? Yeah, that'll work.
Or Rey Mysterio somewhere in that mix.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But we'll see how it plays out, man. We'll see how that plays out. But anyways, let's talk about the last topic of the show, Matt Capotelli, man. So
Oh yeah, we didn't address that.
no, we did not address that. The fact is, he has to, he had brain cancer for a long time now. You know. Let me see, Matt Capotelli. How old was he? 38 years old when he passed away a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he passed away. I mean, it wasn't a surprising thing, but it's of course very sad.
Yeah, very fortunate. I mean, he decided to forego his treatment like a couple weeks before he died, I believe.
He did.
And
could that have saved his life, or?
Well, no, some people were surprised about that. Why are you going to forego your treatment? He said, well, his wife decided that they're going to leave it in God's hands to that effect. I guess he just got tired of being in pain for so long. You know what I mean? The cancer was spreading, and the fact is that he just they just I guess he said I lived with the life I wanted to live. I fought as hard as I could, and it just keeps getting worse and worse.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, man.
It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing.
It's a sad thing about Matt. The only thing he is remembered is the fact that he was the Tough Enough 3 winner along with him and Justin Robert. Was it Justin Robert? No. Justin. What's the guy's name? Justin. Over there at TNA. He's a PA over there. No, he's a color commentator over there. Justin. What's the dude's name? Anyways, I keep forgetting his last name.
Josh
Robert. Is it
Josh something?
Josh Roberts, I think that's what it is.
Not anyways, Roberts. It's
but we all know this infamous moment.
Hello,
Josh something. But the fact, can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I do.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're breaking up, man. I don't know.
I'm breaking up?
All right, here it is. Okay, the fact is that, again, all right, okay, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can.
I don't know what the hell's going on here. Okay. Anyhow, anyways, Matt, there was an infamous moment that he's remembered for. I know he was the old OVW champion. That's cool. But we all remember that infamous moment that he had.
Is he the one that took the beating from Bob Holly?
Yep, that was him.
Oh, man, Bob Holly was an asshole. Wow.
Yeah, to me, when I look at that clip again, too, man, that when they were going through their session, I thought that was unnecessary. I like, look, Bob, I know you're trying to tell these guys.
Was it you think it was a work beatdown, or it really was a beatdown?
That was a beatdown. I mean, if you hear those shots, that was stiffness to the core.
Yeah, you don't need to go through that to become a wrestler at these like that's so old school.
That is so old school. I mean, well, Bob Holly is old school. He comes from the cloth, man. He don't care. He's like, look, man.
He was. I'm sure that if you don't need to go through that to become a pro wrestler or to become a superstar. At this point in the game.
No, you don't. And the fact is that when people were there watching it, people were like, what the hell is going on here? Because, Bob was stiffing the hell out of this kid. He was hitting him in the back with some stiff forearms. And, he was, kicking him, in the sternum. He was beating the hell out of this kid. Beating him the fuck up. He could, when he tagged out during their session, he could barely stand. His mouth was busted open too. It's like to a little bit. It was like, man. I looked at that tape. I'm like, oh my goodness. He had heart though, man. He withstood it, even though he felt a bit. He felt a bit.
And he won. He actually won tough enough, right?
Yeah, he did win it. And it's sad though. He had to end his wrestling career due to his illness. He had to retire. 4 years into the business, I should say, and then he had to retire in 2017. terrible thing 11 years
It's
ago.
probably. I mean,
So,
would you say that that's as sad as the Draws thing, or not? Because he could actually still move and walk and stuff.
well, the Draws can actually still move and walk a bit, and he's still alive. But this right here is far worse. I mean, Draw
Yeah.
still has his, and he's still in pretty good health. But yeah,
Well,
this
he
right
can't
here,
move or walk. Yeah.
well, he can't move and walk, but he can still function to some degree. You know, as far as Capotelli. I mean, a man who just got diagnosed and he was what 28 years old. He was before he was 30. Yeah, that's something that
Yeah.
that's hard to deal with.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how, some people said, some people rumored it was steroid usage that had something to do with it. No, I don't think it had anything to do with that. I mean, obviously he did look like he did take steroids, but the fact is that I think it was just more of a, an issue that was hereditary, probably that had passed down to him from from his one of his family members. I don't know. You know, yeah. So basically,
it could be environmental. It's a combination. It's like autism. We don't know.
yeah, we don't know, but poor guy. It's sad. But it is what it is. So
Very sad.
actually, him and it's funny. Him. It was not him and Josh Math. It was Josh Matthews. That's the guy's name. No, Josh Matthews didn't win this test. He didn't win this one up with Matt Capotelli. It was John Hannigan, aka John Morrison.
Oh, that was that was the first Tough Enough, wasn't it?
No, it was the third one. And it's funny
really?
though because him and Melina met on that. She didn't make the cut. So John Morrison, obviously, and he won it.
Interesting. Melina, she appeared actually at Frank and Sons a few weeks back.
Oh, really?
That would have been nice to go to.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. But hey, you know what? I don't want to go into rehash that type of pass, but it is what it is on that one. But yeah, rest in peace to Matt Capotelli, man. It's sad that his life was gone too soon. Wish condolences to him, his wife, and his family. Yeah, I mean that was like the second passing within 2 weeks at that time. Vader died a week before that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, sad to
around
say,
4th
man.
of July, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. So I mean,
That's
looking
a
forward to
tragedy.
SummerSlam.
I mean, there's so many tragedies going on in this business. So many tragedies.
It is, man. So many tragedies. I know some people
Guerrero,
are going to say steroid
we got
usage.
the Guerrero thing, the Benoit thing, the Owen Hart thing, Draws.
Well, that and obviously Randy Savage passed away a few years ago.
He was older. But...
He was older. Yeah, he wasn't always in the best of health before his passing.
Ultimate Warrior.
You had Ultimate Warrior. I mean, John Cena, aka Earthquake. Yeah, I mean, years before that.
Ric Flair. Speaking of that, he had a surgery. He had a big surgery a few days ago, and I really think the guy is blessed. Has some kind of lucky star above him because he probably should be dead. Should be dead too. he was barely. He was on death's door like about a year ago.
I know. I'm surprised that fool's still. I mean, not that fool. That guy's still. I mean, Jake Roberts of all people is still alive. I mean, all the stuff that he was doing.
Hall.
Yeah, Scott Hall. Oh yeah, Scott Hall of all people. I'm like, why is this dude? I'm saying, how is he still alive after all the stuff he's doing? You know what I mean? Cocaine abuse,
Flair,
alcohol abuse. Jake,
his organs gave out. I mean.
Yeah, Jake Roberts, same thing happened to him, and he's still alive. Even Jake Roberts came out and said to dude in an interview, "Pick your poison." He's like, I don't understand. He was like talking to God because Jake Roberts himself said he wanted to die at one point, and he said,
and he coincidentally a camera was in front of him.
Yeah, exactly. And he said, "God, why won't you take me for God's sakes?" But it is what it is. I mean, anyhow, Capotelli, that was an unforeseen situation, and sad for him and his family.
Sick, but yeah, it's very sad.
Yeah, it's sad though. I mean, he decided to forego his treatment and just continued I mean, then that was it, and to let it run its course. But man, I mean, sad. All right,
I
partner.
mean, we
Looks
can
like we're gonna
hope
have to
for
wrap this up.
no more. We can hope for no more tragedy, but it's gonna happen.
Well, what did you say now? You broke it up there.
We can hope for no more tragedy to come, but we can hope for no more tragedy to come. You know, looking forward, but it most likely it's gonna happen.
Well, let's hope for the best, man. I agree with you on that. So let's see what happens. You know, to the Raw. You know, Raw SmackDown shows up to SummerSlam because
Yes,
SummerSlam is next.
SummerSlam. We're building up to SummerSlam, and next week is going to be a very interesting week. Bobby Lashley, Roman Reigns are going to compete to see who the number one contender for Brock Lesnar will be at SummerSlam. So that's coming next Monday, and it would be a pleasure, you know, to address that further next week on Beyond the Kayfabe.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. We will definitely address that, and we'll definitely be keeping a close eye on that. Well, anyway, partner, this is it. So everybody out there, thank you for tuning in, and so we'll be back next week. And while we're doing that, we'll be doing video uploads as well, as I've been consistently on doing. So to give you immediate updates on the wrestling news and the rumor mills around it too. So with that said, this is Daniel MS, aka Dan the Man Boxing, along with my co-host Ilyas. Until next time, we are out. Beyond the Kayfabe is signing off for now. Peace.
Over and out. Bang bang.